Guilt tipping is becoming a thing, and it is adding unnecessary pressure to not only the shoppers and customers, but to the employees as well. With more than likely the lion's share of the tips and gratuities going to the house and not to the employees and staff. But answer this question for me. Should companies be paying their employees more? Or instead, should employees like this faux barista here have to rely on your tips to earn a living wage?
The iced chai will be $6.49. Enter your card and it'll ask you just a few little prompts here.
Okay. Um, um, okay.
This video is continuing to raise the debate over this new digital tipping push by businesses and retailers. What is the proper digital tipping etiquette? We've talked about this before in other videos. But in this clip, TikTok user Aubrey Grace acts out a scenario many of us have experienced, and an awkward one at that. And probably a lot more recently and almost everywhere you shop, which is becoming a little bit disturbing. The immense and awkward pressures that come when you're asked to tip using an iPad or other POS device, terminal, or when filling out a credit card receipt at checkout time. Grace acted out the familiar scene with a friend, pretending to be a barista asking a customer to pay for their drink and then prompting them with the guilt tipping option starting at a whopping 15%. Too bad this is not just a funny TikTok for entertainment only. This is a real life reality for us all. You can see on the screen that small overlay on the screen that reads, "The pressure to tip," as the woman pretending to be the customer then hovers over the options as the barista closely watches her wavering finger. Handed an iced chai that would be $6.49 after tax, the point of sale POS is then turned to you to enter your card, and it'll ask you just a few little prompts here. Then you're hit in the face with the iPad showing a screen with options to tip 15%, 20%, 25%, or a custom amount, or no tip at all. Now, this is the awkward moment when they can see what you're tipping, if you're even going to tip anything at all. Now, her video has gotten her over 1.7 million views, with thousands of people agreeing it's an awkward position that they found themselves in before. One person commented on the video and said, "I used to feel so awkward that now I just hit the no tip and walk away." While another comment read, "I've been on both ends of this situation and it's an awkward feeling either way." Oh, and a real life boots on the ground share added that unfortunately about 60% of my paycheck is from those tips. So it does actually affect us a lot. That's a tough position to be in. Now, research studies have shown that digital tipping options typically result in customers leaving a tip ranging from 18 to 30% and sometimes even higher, and all mostly out of guilt. And this is going straight to the profit column of the business's financial statement, usually not to the employee. But some folks say they refuse to tip for self service experiences, which they've labeled guilt tipping. This is a growing trend where customers are being asked to tip at self serve restaurants or sometimes even clothing stores. Are you freaking kidding me? A clothing store? I can agree with one of the comments that said, "Tip for waiting in line, placing the order myself, paying myself, and picking up the order myself?" Yeah, I don't think so. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no qualms with adding tips for waiters and drivers, especially if they've earned that gratuity. But an automatic tip for just doing your job is not guaranteed, at least not for me at least. Meanwhile, others say people should shame companies, not the people feeling uncomfortable over tipping. But oftentimes, these employees have no say in the matter. And the odds that they even get the tip or even a small portion or percentage of the tip is more than likely a fat chance. The crazy part about this whole guilt tipping business scam is the idea of, let's say, imagine shaming people for not tipping, but not shaming companies for underpaid labor. So, what do you guys think about this whole digital tipping, guilt tipping, or possibly pre tipping for services that haven't even been rendered yet? Or tipping for something as simple as going to the store and buying clothing and they're asking for a tip at checkout, ultimately adding to the problems that we are facing with inflation and just trying to take more money out of your pocket, out of your paycheck, out of your checking and savings account for their benefit, for their greed, for their profit. Sometimes the employees have a say, sometimes they don't. sometimes the money actually goes to the employees, and sometimes it just goes to the businesses, and it's just more in their profit column, and they continue to pay employees low wages, further hurting our economy. But I'm curious. Comment below and let me know what you think. Have you been in this situation? Have you been the employee that has had to stand there in this awkward moment where you look the customer in the eye and wait for them to choose a tip amount? Have you been the customer who's had this awkward situation with the employee standing there looking up at you, waiting for you to make your selection of 15, 20, 25% or custom? Or are you a business owner and are you implementing these tips or not? And if so, are you even giving a portion of these tips or all of these tips to your employees? We'd like to know.